How's it going, everyone? As we've been doing videos covering the PlayStation Store sales, now we're gonna be looking at videos that are super cheap at under $5. A lot of you guys have left comments telling me to start mentioning the PlayStation Plus extra games as well, so we're gonna be doing that going forward. I don't think I have too many games that are in the extra tier on this list. However, there are a couple, so yeah, we'll be doing that going forward, since it seems like those of you watching these videos want to buy your games anyway. You want to own them, etc., but I get it, and I will be doing that going forward. Alright, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Just Cause 3, which is 85% off for $2.99. You can get Just Cause 3 XXL Edition 85% off for $4.49. Just Cause is a franchise that you get into it just for the fun factor, and for me personally, I just like to pop in a Just Cause game to goof around and have some fun in the open world. Is this a game you're gonna get invested into narratively? Probably not. You're not gonna get attached to the characters or anything like that. But what the game does have is a lot of explosions, a lot of fun to be had, and you can do some crazy stuff, and there is a lot of fun to be had. Like, if you have a long day at work and you just want to mentally check out and have a game that really just has a high level of fun factor attached to it, I feel like Just Cause is going to give you a really good time with that. And at $3, this is a great deal, and if you do want the additional DLC, $4.49 for the XXL edition, that's pretty good as well. The performance isn't fantastic on PlayStation 4, but hey, them's the breaks with a game like this. $3 is still a great pickup. Alright, next up, Supergiant Games, one of the top studios in the world today. Gotta give a shout to Bastion, which is 75% off for $3.74. We'll get to another Supergiant Games title in a second, but Bastion was a fantastic game. I played this back years ago, initially on PC. It was just like a Steam daily deal, and I picked it up, and I loved it. I know it came out on Xbox 360 as well, but it actually never got a PlayStation release until this version came out, and Bastion is just a fantastic game that has just aged gracefully. It came out like 11 years ago, but it still holds up so well just because the art style is so great, the aesthetic is fantastic, the narration in the game is great, and the gameplay is pretty solid as well. Overall, it's a game that, even though it's over a decade old, I still think you can go back to it and have a really good time with it. And for $3.74, no-brainer here, it's a great game, pick it up. The other Supergiant Games title, gotta give a mention to Transistor as well. Definitely quite a bit different than Bastion, but also very good in its own right. And with Supergiant Games, you could always have the expectation that they're gonna deliver from an aesthetic standpoint, and once again with Transistor, they do that as well. You've got a great soundtrack here as well, pretty interesting gameplay. I wasn't as hot on it as some of the other Supergiant Games titles, but hey, you might really end up enjoying it, and the sci-fi theme is pretty cool as well. This one is $4.99, still definitely a worthwhile pickup here. Next up, we have Super Meat Boy, 80% off for $2.99. I feel like this is just an essential game to most game libraries. It's a very difficult game at times. I mean, you know, some people might get pushed to breaking their controller. Okay, let's not go that far, but it can definitely get a little bit difficult, and it is, you know, one of those precision platformers that very little room for error, but it's an enjoyable game. It's an addicting game that you'll constantly go back to, and I found it pretty hard to drop the controller when I played Super Meat Boy for the first time. It's an enjoyable game. The sequel is on sale, Super Meat Boy Forever, but that's like north of $10 still, so get Super Meat Boy 1 if you've never played it. I think you'll have a good time with it. If you're down for a relatively difficult platformer, you'll enjoy it. But do be prepared to get absolutely whooped at times. Alright, next up, we got Valiant Hearts The Great War, 70% off for $4.49. This is included with PlayStation Plus Extra, but if you want to buy, $4.49 is a great price. Valiant Hearts is one of those games that came out back in like 2014, and initially when it came out, there was definitely quite a few people talking about it and talking about how great this game is, and it's got such a great art style, another game that has aged very gracefully. And it's a relatively emotional game and really absorbs you into the time period pretty much right out the gate. The way the game presents its narrative is incredibly interesting. The gameplay is solid as well, but I think, once again, from a presentation standpoint, Valiant Hearts The Great War is super unique and also very good. And again, a relatively emotional game here as well. Not the lengthiest game, obviously, but for $4.49, if you want something that's a little bit different, and it's a Ubisoft published game. Ubisoft, you typically don't associate them with putting out games like this. But Valiant Hearts: The Great War at $4.49, great pickup here. Alright, next up, Hotline Miami, the collection. Of course, this includes Hotline Miami 1 and 2. Hotline Miami is such a throwback. Sure, the old school visual style might not be for everyone, but just give Hotline Miami a chance. I feel like it's pretty hard not to enjoy the over-the-top action gameplay that Hotline Miami brings you. It's a super violent game, it's a super gruesome game, so definitely would not be recommending this for your kids or anything like that. Like, send them away and then you can jump into Hotline Miami, because this game gets pretty darn bloody, but it's very over-the-top, very high-octane, and if you want something that is a little bit of a throwback, but super action heavy, Hotline Miami is going to be right up your alley. And for $4.99 for both games, that's a solid pickup. Definitely would give that a recommendation. Next up, we have Guacamelee II Complete. This is $4.59. You know, the Metroidvania market right now is so packed. There are a lot of great games when you look at the quality Metroidvanias, and unfortunately, one that is often lost in the shuffle is one of the more charming ones that you're going to come across, and that is Guacamelee II. You play as this luchador doing suplexes and whatnot. It's definitely over the top, but it's got a great art style as well. Definitely unique scenery when you compare it to a lot of other games, but it's a super, super colorful game, and I think a lot of you guys, if you are a fan of Metroidvanias, but you missed out on this one, give Guacamelee 2 a shot. It might end up really surprising you, and it's a quality game. Like, the people that played it were very positive towards the game. It's just not a lot of people checked out Guacamelee, unfortunately, and, you know, that's just gonna happen when there's so much competition in this market, but Guacamelee 2 is a quality title, $4.59, good pickup here as well. Next up, another pretty interesting Ubisoft published title, Child of Light, is 70% off for $4.49. This is also included with PlayStation Plus Extra. Another game with an awesome presentation style and a game that's super unique compared to everything else on the market. This is more of a coming-of-age RPG, fantasy RPG, but it is a very, very good game with a quality story, awesome soundtrack here as well. Another game that came out way back when, I think 2014 as well. I believe it came out right around the same time as Valiant Hearts. Got a little bit of buzz when it came out, but definitely isn't one that's like super, super popular. But if you want a game that's more of an interesting RPG, check out Child of Light. It might end up really surprising you, and this is a great price for it, sub $5, definitely worth a pickup. Next up, we have Agents of Mayhem, 85% off for $2.99, also in PS Plus Extra. Now, this is a game done by Volition, the developers of Saints Row. And thematically, Agents of Mayhem has a lot of those similarities to Saints Row. Yes, it's very much on the goofy side. It's an open world game that has a lot of over-the-top gameplay, so go into it with your expectations in line. I wouldn't even say it's as good as Saints Row, and if you spent, you know, $50 on the game, $60 on the game, whatever, you would have been incredibly disappointed. However, if you want an over-the-top open world game, if you can set your expectations to, you know, look at this game as more of a goofy open world game that you can have some fun with, I think at $3 it's a good pickup, and one that's worthwhile to check out. Am I saying it's amazing? No, but $3 I think is a good pickup for it. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to Murdered Soul Suspect, which is 90% off for $1.99. This game is actually currently downloaded on my PlayStation 5, and I'm planning to finish the game soon. I'm replaying it right now, and I want to do a full video on this game at some point, because it constantly goes down to $2, and it's a game so many people have forgotten about. It came out way back when, and I draw full price on this game, $50, $60, and that's absolutely, like, no. If you draw $50, $60 on this game, yeah, that wasn't worth it. However, it does have a really cool setting, it has a lot of cool themes, and narratively, it's a pretty strong game with a lot of mystery. Gameplay-wise, a lot of shortcomings, and sometimes it definitely gets a little bit confusing, but if you look at the game and you like the visual style, if you like some of the themes, and if you like mystery games, Murdered Soul Suspect might be a game you actually end up enjoying. And if you like supernatural themes in your games as well, you might end up enjoying it for $2. It's one of those games that has been really forgotten about at this point, but if you like the detective themes, if you like the mystery themes, for $2, I think it's at such a cheap price that give it a shot. You might end up being surprised by this one as well. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of deals available right now on the PlayStation Store. Wanted to look at deals under $5 if you just have a couple of bucks left on your PlayStation Store wallet. These are games you can check out and have a pretty good time with. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.